Hi there. I thought that tonight I would respond to Sopater the Berean's questions for full Preterists. Now I'm just going to refer to the YouTube user as Derek. Hi Derek. What I want to do here is offer a response because I'm up kind of late today. I had a poorly stomach, but yeah, I'm awake, I'm alert. Well, we'll see. So yeah, I prepared to respond to the second question in this series of questions for full preterists. However, I will respond to the first point. In the first video, Derek brings up Luke 21, and he deals with the verse 22. For these are the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. Now, Derek argues that Jesus is saying something other than what a literal interpretation might lead you to believe. So when Jesus says, these are the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled, Derek argues that there's certain parameters there that restrict the all things which are written may be fulfilled aspect of that sentence, so that Jesus is only saying that particular and specific things that have been written will be fulfilled in these days of vengeance. And I think that's a difficult case to make, but he made it. But I'm not convinced at all. I would say then look at the larger context, look what Luke 21 actually says, and then if keep reading it, and there will be signs in the sun, the moon, the stars, perplexity. The Son of Man will be coming in a cloud with power and great glory. Assuredly I say to you, this generation will by no means pass away till all these things take place. Again, what we're doing as futurists is we're saying Jesus didn't mean what he said, and that's the case. You're constantly advancing, and I would feel uncomfortable making that case once took a step back, took a few deep breaths, and then just came to appreciate what I'm actually saying and doing. Again, look at Matthew 24, look at Mark 13, read through Luke 21 here. It's always the same message. Jesus is preaching a soon to come end. Anyway, I don't want to get caught up in that. That's just my response to the first point. So in the second question, Derek speaks of distinguishing a contrast between physical and spiritual, and a contrast between the natural and the spiritual. Derek makes the case that there is a contrast between the spiritual and the natural, but not necessarily a contrast between the spiritual and the physical. This is what he's taken from the Bible, and this forms an apologetic for a physical resurrection, because if you say, oh well, there isn't a contrast between the spiritual and the physical, then that you can see how that would form an apologetic for, well, in the end there will be a physical resurrection, and yes, there will be a spiritual clothing, pardon me, of this physicality, but there is no conflict there. That's as clear as I can make it. All I want to say is that I'm in agreement that there's a contrast between things pertaining to the spirit and things pertaining to the natural, For instance, there's a contrast between the spiritual man and the natural man, between worldly men and heavenly men. But that agreement doesn't lead me to then agree that this contrast is an acceptable apologetic for the idea of a future physical resurrection. Wouldn't go that far. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. By faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of God, so that the things which are seen were not made of things which are visible. Jesus answered, "My kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, my servants would fight so that I should not be delivered to the Jews, but now my kingdom is not from here." So we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but on what is unseen, since what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. For by him all things were created that are in heaven and that are on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominions or principalities or powers, all things were created through him and for him. For when they rise from the dead, they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are like angels in heaven. So I would conclude here that human beings like you and me are today capable of having a relationship with God, and I'm of the mind that this relationship doesn't end but remains forever. I would say that there is an unseen realm complete with unseen beings, even human beings who have passed from a physical existence in a natural body into something else. I mean, it's supernatural and non-physical, but this is the reality that's being portrayed. If we just look at Mark 12:25 again. For when they rise from the dead, they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are like angels in heaven. Where are the angels in heaven? Where are they? In an unseen realm. Jesus says that's what they're going to be like. That's what human beings are going to be like when they've risen from the dead, right? So, point to the angels. Oh, you can't point to them because they're invisible, because they're in an unseen realm. You know what I mean? Jesus is saying that's what you're going to be like in the resurrection when you're risen from the dead, okay? And you'll neither be given in marriage, neither marry nor be given in marriage, but like the angels in heaven. Now, I understand the language there. It says you'll be like the angels in heaven. It doesn't say you will be an angel in heaven, so how could you possibly argue that case? Well, everything else, we've just been told that there's a kingdom that's not of this earth. We've just been told that there's an unseen, invisible realm, and the things that are unseen are eternal. I'm not going to develop this too much, but I just want to show that there is a basis for the beliefs that I have, and for a quick impromptu video with limited material here for me to share with you, I think it's something of a response anyway. Hopefully I'll make I plan to make quite a more substantial video tomorrow. Again, I'm going to be referring to the Old Testament because I know there's a lot of people out there who like to look into the Old Testament and use that to counter arguments that Preterists will make referring to the New Testament. So hopefully that will resolve some issues too. All the best. Take care.